What just happened there?
Dude, I just had the worst 10 minutes of my life. I'm ever so sorry for keeping you waiting.
That's okay.
Fucking hell, man. I was
The
setting
worst
up.
of your life.
Yeah, my entire life.
Oh gosh.
I was setting up for the podcast and I had a drink. This drink, well, actually, this is
Oh,
a new drink.
that looks sticky.
Put it next to my keyboard while I was setting up. Had the thought, Michael, that's a terrible spot to put a drink. You know how clumsy you are. Ignored that thought, continued setting up, knocked it over, all over my desk. I don't think any of the electrical stuff got wet, but who knows? And then it's the worst when you spill a drink, especially on a desk. It just sends you into such a panic. So then I went to grab some tea towels to mop up the mess, refilled the drink, put the drink on the ground because I didn't want to put it on the desk again because I've learnt. And in the panic, I knocked it over with my foot on the ground. So I knocked the same drink over twice.
Oh, Michael.
Man, and
Oh gosh.
I'm so probably the most unattractive thing, maybe the only unattractive thing about me is how clumsy I am. It's so embarrassing to be a clumsy grown-up man.
I feel like I'm a clumsy person by nature. I'm always
Well,
dropping things and
you're
breaking
because you're
things.
gangly. You at least you've got height.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
tall.
a 5'11"
Yeah.
and a 3/4.
Yeah, you.
Like I'm not even
You are
6 foot.
5'11" and 3/4, which
Yeah,
no one would rationally, round up to 6 foot.
I'm just rushing about. I'm just rushing about everywhere and it's just I'm the worst. I'm
What
the
was
worst.
the drink? Sorry, did you say?
It's a soda water. It had a bit of creatine in it and a bit of hydrolyte.
Okay.
So it wasn't
So is it sticky?
sugary.
No.
Well, I thought it wasn't going to be sticky, but the electrolyte, there is a bit of, there
Yeah,
is a slight bit of
there's
stickiness,
enough
but
to. Yeah.
so it's all right.
Gosh. Well,
We'll
are
deal with
you,
it
are you
later.
feeling flustered? Do you need a minute? Should we do some meditation?
time.
Should we start off with like a blanket fort? Like, what do you need here to get into the zone?
Blanket fort stresses me out, honestly, because I'm trying to think on the spot. So please,
Anything but
just
that.
tell me how you are and
Well, you
things
know
about
what?
the world.
In my last episode, or possibly 2 weeks, 2 episodes ago, there was some commentary made about the premature disclosure of a story that would be better served by accompanying pictures. So, Michael, why don't we start off this story,
Fuck yeah, dude,
this
that would be
episode,
perfect.
with some professional photos of my dog? What do you reckon?
That is perfect. Perfect.
Okay, I have just texted to you 12 photos that we received from Goose's photo shoot. These were my present to my partner KC for his birthday last year. Sorted out a date to go and see this woman. As previously discussed, it was actually her last ever photo shoot as a photographer and dog specialist, because she was hanging up her hat after 12 years. So this is the high that we went out on. We picked the photos that we wanted, bought the package, and here we go, Michael. Here's your
All right.
payoff after the quite valid concern previously that you didn't actually get to see the end results.
All right. Oh my God, I've got these photos up. My goodness gracious.
Okay, talk me through. Describe for the listener.
First one is a beautiful shot of Goose's butt. It kind of looks
Hell
like
yeah.
her tail's white, so it kind of looks like you're cramming the tail into her butt.
It is to be honest, we had a choice of packages, how many photos we were going to purchase from this person. So, because of course you get a voucher or you do something for the shoot, but then you have to buy the finished photos. So that's how they get ya. And this was one that I considered not getting, but in the end we decided, look, she's taken all the fucking photos. Let's just pay for them, all. And here we go. We have one that's from behind, makes her tail look so
Can I just say, these are outstanding.
They are outstanding.
Is that what I said?
It is what you said, yeah.
These are outstanding.
If you are listening at home and you check your podcast player, I'll pop one of them in the chapter title for you. A little bit of a goosey present for everyone. But she did an amazing job. There are beautifully rendered, beautifully
They really are.
color graded.
They're like kind of almost like like a regal painting of like a Queen Elizabeth the 17th or something, King Henry. One of them. They're really quite. It's quite timeless. They're not at all what I was expecting. They're not kind of, tacky or best in showy. They're quite considered and beautiful. Well done.
Yeah, there's one where she's sitting on a throne, basically. She's on this chair looking up.
Jealous.
Pepsi's jealous. Pepsi's saying, like, why didn't you give me photos of this?
It's hard to photograph a black dog, so sorry, Pepsi. Yeah, they look really good. Shut up, you fucking dick. Well, now you guys look great too. I mean...
Thank you.
Well, Casey's quite photogenic, isn't he?
Yeah. There are 10 photos that we got. Sorry, there are 12 photos that we got, 10 of which are of Goose, and there's a couple where our hands are visible or we are in shot. And those two are the only ones where I didn't look like a sweaty mess because I had spent the previous 30 minutes chasing Goose around the studio. She looks quite sedate in these photos, but she was hyperactive as fuck and very excited by all of the dog scents and toys and clickers and treats and everything that we had to try and keep her in shot or keep her on spot. And so, yeah, I looked at my photos. I was like, oh, I just have like a greasy sheen and disheveled hair.
Well, you've come up quite nicely, I'll say.
But I'm not the star. It's, Goose is the star and Goose was captured beautifully.
That's things that stars say. Can we put up a few of these up on our Instagram?
Absolutes. And we'll tag Goose on Insta as well, so you can go follow her account and keep up to date with everything she's up to.
I think this is our ticket to viral success. Now that I'm looking at these,
great. Welcome to Deep Thought, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for this podcast episode. It's an audio file that is transmitted through the internet containing bits, zeros and ones, and when reconstituted in your hands becomes a satisfying afternoon. Sitting through the internet with me, my friend Michael, carefully opening a drink outside of technology. How we doing?
I'm alright. Fuck, I look like a mess, but I'm okay.
And I'm Nick. Hi, nice to meet you. Hi.
Nick, I'm just gonna quickly, if you don't mind, give a little shout out to my beloved wife who turns 24 tomorrow.
Wow, that age gap is getting bigger every year.
Actually, by the time you're hearing this, it'll be yesterday. So
okay. Well,
happy birthday, Lauren.
Happy birthday.
And all the best. All the best.
This constitutes the card, and now there will be no card from Michael. You caught a little bit of sun. You tanned.
I don't think so. I was in Adelaide, so it was very hot in Adelaide. I've got a couple of tales from the old city of churches. What are you laughing at?
So when I say, looks like you caught a little bit of sun, you say, no, I didn't. I was merely in a place where it was very hot and I was in the sun.
I honestly, I'm forgetting what I'm saying 3 seconds earlier, so I don't know. Outstanding.
Okay. I'm excited for the stories. I got stories as well, so I feel like this is a story episode.
Looks like we've all got stories. So let me just pull up my notes here. So I'm not sure if you saw my Instagram stories. It's just a close friends. You scraped in a few days ago, but there was a photo of me in a sumo wrestling suit. Did you see that?
I didn't. I don't actually follow you that closely.
Are you serious?
I didn't see it.
Fuck. You liked it.
Well, I like things automatically. I have a bot there that just maintains social connections with people. But there's no guarantee that just because I've liked it, I personally have looked at it.
I didn't even like those photos of Goose.
That was just an automated bot as well.
Well, I'll just send you the photo that I This is the photo. I just sent it to you. It's the photo that I posted.
Oh, I did see that.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay. Well, isn't that better? What do you want? Do you want me to have seen it or not seen it?
Oh, my 25 cents that it cost me to MMS that photo to YouTube. Anyway.
Go on.
So I posted that, thinking that, it would drum up some intrigue in my co-host over here, but apparently not. So do you want to ask about why the fuck I'm in a
sorry, I thought you were already
suit?
telling me. I thought you were telling me the story.
Well, I was, but
you started a story, and then halfway through, you want me to ask you the story. Michael, please tell me more.
There we go. Now we're cooking. So we bought tickets to. So I think the last pod I told story about how I lost $1,000 on a bucket ball game to a man with a hat. And
I don't think you said it was $1,000 because it's crazy that you spent that much money.
It was $2,000.
Okay, you were sanitizing it for the pod.
I needed to win. So that was on the first night of the Garden of Unearthly Delights. And while we were roaming around, showing Lauren the sights, she noticed that there was a sumo event that you could go to. She was like, we have to go to the sumo wrestling.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll buy the tickets. So bought the tickets. On the ticket stub, it says, they were pretty dear for the Garden, $45 or whatever. But
yeah,
when in Rome, watch the sumo wrestling.
Yeah.
And in the fine print, it wasn't really fine print. Part of the description, it said, if you're planning on challenging one of the wrestlers, wear appropriate clothing. And I was like, that's very weird to say. I read it. It said, don't wear a skirt. So I, said to Lauren, don't wear a skirt. And she said, you don't wear a skirt, you pussy. And I was like, fair, cool. And so we went to the sumo wrestling, and it was very good. Like, I don't think the wrestlers were actually trying to win. I don't think it was kind of a.
So you think it was like a demonstration more than it was like a real contest?
It was definitely a demonstration. They did a bit of an explainer about the moves and stuff, and then they,
are they actually Japanese like sumo wrestlers that have come over, or is it like Australians?
Yeah, no, they are. This is apparently it's the first time they've done the show outside of Tokyo ever. Wow. So they're actually. So there's, and they introduced their wrestlers. There's 3 wrestlers. There's one giant guy. I've never seen a physique like it. I really haven't. Like you can see in that photo that he's so large, fat, that his breast, I wouldn't call them pecs, but his breasts, his nipples are kind of tucked in under the fold of his breast. You know what I mean?
See that, yeah.
And then they had one medium guy, and then they had one guy that just looked like he worked in IT and had a sedentary job. So they do like, all right, big guy versus the little guy. Oh, and then anyway, they do a couple of rounds like that. And by this time, Lauren and we'd had a couple of sparkling ales, Cooper's Sparkling Ale, best beer in the world, but they're 1.8 standard drinks per beer. We knocked a couple of those back. So we're in a lively mood, good mood. So it gets to the end of the show. Well, gets to 45 minutes into the show, and they say, now, if you've purchased a Challenger ticket, please make your way to the side of the stage. And then people get up, and I'm like, what? Oh, that must be what the thing is. Maybe people have pre-booked to challenge the sumo. And then they say, we've got 3 spots left for anyone in the audience to challenge one of the sumos. And I'm kind of jokingly going, pointing to Lauren, and she's going, shut the fuck up. Don't do this. Please don't do this. Shut up. And then no one's taking the bait. And I was like, fuck it. I'll do it. I'll put my hand up and go up there. And so they get you off to the side of the stage. It's completely dark backstage, and they get you to sign something. It's complete. I said out loud, this is hilarious. I have no idea what it is, but fuck it, whatever. And so I sign whatever this thing. They put you in a fake sumo suit, and then they go shove you up on stage. And I spoke to one of the other girls that was next to me. She said that she had bought a ticket. It costs $20 or something extra to challenge one of the sumos. And anyway, so they put you up on stage, and then one by one, we all try and wrestle these sumo wrestlers. And then it got to me, and she said, like the host of the thing puts the microphone in my face, and she said, "Which fighter do you want? Which wrestler do you want?" And I didn't realize you get to pick.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Give me the big guy." So the guy that's twice my size and width.
Yeah.
And I got up there and I just came at him like a like a drunk Ukrainian in a bar. And I've never felt so small and flimsy, and it was kind of hot in a way. It's like, I kind of fling me like a rag doll, baby. Yeah. And I've got video. I can send it to you later if you're interested. But
yes, please.
That was how I
did you get hurt? And lost. I was going to say you cannot have won. So what did he do? Did he throw you to the ground? Like, how do you push you out of the ring? Is that how sumo works?
He did. He honestly threw me out the ring. I'll show you in the video later. He threw me out of the ring like I was like a fly that he was flicking off me.
Yeah, God. I mean, I don't think there's any chance that any challenger has ever won, right? Like, there's no way that they go into that expecting an audience member to succeed.
Well, there were a couple of girls in this, and I got the feeling that they were they kind of made believe more with them that they were having,
it was more difficult,
a red hot go. But with me, he didn't even try. He just went, "See you, buddy.
Bye."
I don't know what he saw in me.
Were you hurt? Like, were there pads? Like, how did you walk away being like, "Oof"? Is the suit itself padded enough?
Not really. It's like a Temu costume, sumo costume thing. No, I wasn't hurt. I'm tough as nails.
Oh yeah.
Maybe just little humiliated. But then get this:
that's
the way
most
out,
of your nights on the town.
That's exactly right. And on the way out, the girl who got me to sign the thing initially, she was like, "All right, that's $20, please," and hands me an FPOS machine. And I was like, "No, I didn't. I just put my hand up because no one else put their hand up. I'm not paying." And she was like. I might have to check with that. And I was like, no, you don't have to check anything. That you couldn't feel the spot. So I just put my hand up. You should be paying me $20 because I was entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not how it works. It's not who wants to on the spot upgrade their ticket for $20 to come join us. It's
no.
No.
Well,
good on you for getting up there.
Yeah, thank you. Now I do have another kind of a juicier story for you, but maybe you tell your story. And
I just have one follow up as well. How did Lauren react to seeing that happen? Was she like, "Don't get up there, Michael," or was she quite interested in seeing it up there? How you've talked about how you brought a certain degree of toxic masculinity to the carny and trying to get balls in the bucket. How did you feel about? How did she feel about this version of yourself there, the drunk Ukrainian in a sumo suit?
I think she thoroughly enjoyed it. She was taking photos on 2 different cameras. I could see her in the crowd. She was beaming.
She was getting angles.
I think it's one thing to see me lose. I think that might be a libido killer for her. But to see me humiliated in front of a crowd, I think that might have been an aphrodisiac in some way for her.
Okay, so it works out.
Yeah. One thing as well, the guys were so sweaty. I mean, they're large guys.
Yeah.
They sweat.
It
was all over. It was all over.
Yeah.
My face.
Yeah. I mean, this is not a judgment, but I did think on first glance that the guy next to you was also wearing a fake sumo suit. It does not look like a real person's body, and I cannot imagine that they were comfortable in the Adelaide climate.
It's really weird because we were pretty close to the front, and it's so revealing. I could see the individual pimples on their butt. They're wearing G-strings, basically these huge fat guys. It's a very strange thing, sumo wrestling, because they are quite revered in Japan as a sport, but it is kind of interesting. I was wondering if it had its origins in, because in Asia, they've seen a lot of famine. You don't really tend to see a lot of obese Asian people. I wonder if there's like a regal kind of glamorization of it being so fat, like the
So
the
big. Yeah,
opulence and the
opulence.
abundance is like in the way that fat women were considered really beautiful when
Yeah.
food was scarce.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's a valid question. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I'm sure there's a storied history behind it all, but you're right that these days it doesn't seem to. I mean, it's far along the spectrum from the glamorized physiques of Western athletes and sports. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, interesting. I would recommend, if you, because the Fringe is still going, if you are in Adelaide, go check out the sumos.
Yeah. And so when you said $45, my actual thought was, oh, you might have bought the expensive ticket, and maybe that sort of compelled you to get up. But it sounds like that was the base price, and then it would have been 65 if you wanted to be a challenger. Is that how
Yeah.
expensive are tickets getting these days?
Well, I think
I remember things being like $20.
there are still many of those things. We saw a comedy show and it was $20.
Okay.
But I think this is kind of a bit of a production. You're bringing.
Yeah, people over.
I mean, I imagine they have to buy 3 seats per guy on a plane to come over here.
How do
So,
they do it? Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe by bus. No,
Yeah,
that doesn't
probably
make
bus
sense.
from Japan. Yeah.
One of those underwater buses.
There must be a word for that. Okay, well, I'll tell you a story if you've got another one after this. So, where to begin? We live on a house that was subdivided from a larger block. So we have the rear house now with the private driveway up to the back of the lot. And as a result of that, we back onto a few units on that side. And our neighbor there, Laurie, was a guy that we met when we moved in maybe 15 months ago. Nice guy, older, I'd say 60s, maybe early 70s, probably late 60s, in a little unit on the side.
Our parents' age, kind of.
Yeah. And he was friendly enough, like a little bit of a rough around the edges, but friendly enough. He gave us some lemons when we moved in. He made some shortbread and gave it to us once. Friendly dude, been there a long time. Had a partner who lived somewhere else. It was a relatively newer relationship, so I think he'd been divorced and then met this other woman, and so sometimes he was over there and sometimes he was at his unit here. And we got solar panels installed, and he was always fascinated by the solar. He's like, oh, I think I'm going to get the solar done. I think I'm going to get that on the thing, but I have to do the roof first because the roof was peeling and had some sorts of problems. Anyway,
Right.
We get to the point a month ago or so where people start working on the roof, and I think, oh, Laurie's finally going to do his roof redo. He's getting his, working up to solar maybe, but going to do the roof first. So there are contractors around. There's a guy with some scaffolding there, and he's using a power washer trying to get this old paint off the roof. And then it stops for a little bit. He'd been doing it himself. As in this one old guy had been doing it himself. And then last week, brand new scaffolding goes up and it has a big banner. And now it's clear that rather than doing a DIY job, he's got some contractors in because it's a big, brand. Call us, the handy dudes. Here's our phone number. We're doing this work on the roof. I'm like, okay, so he's given up doing DIY. Problem is, these contractors that are doing the work are really not very good. They are not very attentive. They are slapdash. And the result of them setting up with the scaffolding, using the pressure washer on the roof, is that they're spraying paint all over our house, garden, deck, veggie patch. It's all just blowing straight off the roof and onto our property.
Wow.
And there's
what
bits
color
of
is the
paint.
paint?
It's like old white, kind of. It was like a grey thing. It's been on there for fucking decades. It is ancient. So this has been overdue, but they had to do it in order to finish the roof, right? And so I see all these flecks on the deck, and I'm pissed off because I only 3 months ago completely cleaned and then re-oiled the deck myself to finish it. And now there's shit, old flecks of old paint all over it. And furthermore, Goose, the dog, is running around and she's stepping in, eating, bits of paint and all this shit. And I'm just like, guys, this is so like disorganized and disrespectful. They had no attempts to like stop flecks from flying everywhere. They didn't offer to put a sheet around. They never spoke to me in advance of them doing it. They just started and then covered our yard in shit, right?
Yeah.
So I was pissed off. And go round when I see that the guy's out there and there's mess all over the thing. I'm like, whoa, like there's shit all over the deck, man.
So are you saying this to the owner of the
contractor,
house?
the contractor up on the scaffold? Yeah, haven't seen the owner, just seeing the contractors. And I'm like, dude, there's stuff everywhere here. Like, look at it all. I've got a dog. Like, there's paint. What are you doing? And he's like, possibly like a Filipino guy or something. I get the sense his English isn't very good. And he's like, oh, I'll clean it up. I'll come around and clean it up. And I'm like, okay. So I grab the dog and I put it in. And maybe it's like 4:00 at night. And I'm annoyed at the disrespect of it, but I'm thinking, with a bit of a sweep, you can all get it into a bucket and put it away, and that's over at least. Like, it's not going to be unfixable. And I had also said to the guy, like, what is this paint? Like, this could be lead paint or something. Have you tested it to know? Like, he's not wearing a mask or anything. He's in a painter's suit. But he's throwing shit everywhere. And the gutter has been like, there's a plastic sock there to gather any runoff off the roof, any paint chips into the drain pipe. It's going to catch the paint there. But this paint is not just going down the gutter because it's a high pressure blaster. So it's going everywhere, including into the drain water sump, like the stormwater sump on the outside of their property and in their driveway. And I'm watching the water and everything pull these bits into the fucking stormwater drain. So this guy says, oh, no, my boss tested it. It's oil paint. I'm like, all right. Well, when you're done, come round and sweep up the bits of paint. And as I said previously, our houses overlap by both being at the back end of driveways from the other side of the block. Like they're parallel, but they don't interconnect or overlap. So in order to come down our driveway, he's going to have to go all the way out of his driveway, all the way around the block, back down our street, and then down our driveway to come to us, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I point that out and I say, you're going to have to go out and come around, blah, blah, blah. The guy nods and I'm like, okay, so I've expressed myself. He's going to come around. He's going to clean up the paint. He knows how to get here. It's a pain that they did this, but it looks like we're all right. So I go back, I'm inside. I'm doing some work. This is the afternoon. Come back, a bit later and my deck's all wet. I'm like, oh, God, what has he done? I go out and he has, from the top of the scaffolder, used his jet washer to spray the paint chips on my deck remotely from over the fence. And that, of course, doesn't pick up the paint. That just pushes all the paint onto the lawn and onto the plants. And it's not what we talked about at all. That's not cleaning. That's just moving it to a different part of my property, right?
Yeah, it's like a leaf blower kind of.
Yeah, he's just leaf blowing it. That leaf blowers don't clean. They just push the shit around, right?
Relocate, yeah.
And he didn't come around, as we'd talked about. He just tried to half-ass it over the fence. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? It's still here. Now it's just in the ground, instead of on the deck. And he's like, oh, okay. Casey's just got home at work from around this time. I'm getting really frustrated because I'm like, what are you fucking doing? You're just completely ignoring all the things we're talking about. I'm like, you have to go around and sweep it up. Come to our property.
Yeah.
So I go back inside. I run through this all with KC. I look out the window onto the deck. The guy's got his ladder out and is now trying to straddle the ladder over our fence. The ladder is too short, So he's resting the top of it on our fence, but the legs don't touch on the other side. So he's putting this whole weight of himself and the ladder on the fence as he's trying to climb over. And so I race out, I'm like, whoa, no, sorry. I'm watching the fence like all wiggle.
What kind of fence is it?
It's a wooden, it's just a wooden slat fence, right? It's not a metal, it's not structurally
super
engineered.
Sturdy.
Yeah, you can't rest a ladder on top of it and step without it, the boards coming off.
Yeah.
So I'm like, my God, dude. And at that point, I'd I'm a fairly rational or reasonable person, but he'd pushed me to the point where I was too frustrated to be calm about it. I would have been snippy about it. So Casey steps in and takes over. He's just walked home. He's got a little bit of the thing. He starts the conversation. All right. So I go inside. I'm cooking dinner. Casey has a talk with the guy, and he says, okay, I said that I'll clean it up for now. Tomorrow, the guy's going to come back and finish the roof by sanding. He's going to sand the roof. Now that all the pressure blasting has taken the first layer off, he's going to finish it by sanding.
He's going to sand your roof?
No, their roof,
the other roof,
which they're cleaning.
Sorry.
And we will clean up on our side, and that'll be that, right? And so I watch as Casey gets out a dustpan. He sweeps up the bits that are still on the deck. We collect it into a plastic bag. We get all the samples because I'm still thinking, I don't know what any of this paint is, right? And I don't trust these guys anymore. The guy goes home. I'm concerned, if they're going to be sanding is very fine particulate matter, and it's going to spray everywhere. They've just demonstrated already that they don't care about, stopping it from getting on the deck, getting on the house, anything like that. If it's now going to coat our house in fucking sand from this roof paint, I'm not going to be very happy. So,
because I'm guessing it's not a manual hand sanding; it's a machine sanding, right?
That was my presumption. As it turns out, it was hand sandpaper. Or at least in the part that he did next to us. But at that time, I certainly thought the same thing. Where if you're doing it properly, it would be like a machine sander, which you'd hope would suck away the sediment. But we didn't know at that time. So Casey comes in and he's like, "Okay, now we're going to make some calls." So we don't have Laurie's number, the owner. So I can't, he's not home. I can't see him there. We look at the scaffolding and we have the number of the company that's doing it. Casey calls, they don't pick up. So then we're like, okay, let's call the council, see what they advise. They say, okay, depending on what it is, if there's concerns it's going down stormwater, blah, 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 then maybe Environment Canterbury has something to say about it. That's the Environment Authority that basically watches for breaches of those kind of regulations.
Yes.
They call up Environment Canterbury, and Environment Canterbury is interested mostly from a perspective of, is it going into the stormwater? And beyond that, if there's like bits on our deck or whatever, that's less their purview, but there's still a question. So next day, don't hear anything from the contractors. I go out and I get a lead testing kit, which you can just get from the paint shop. We see that the Environment Canterbury guy's been out. He's actually gone and picked up samples from their house without me knowing, over there, checked the drain, pulled out some bits, taken some samples away. I miss him visiting my house. There's a note at the door. That night, we used the lead testing kit. Guess what comes back? Positive for lead. So all of the paint is lead paint, and now it has been sprayed all over our house, deck, veggie patch, and lawn. And we're like, fuck, because that is contaminated soil. And that escalates things from, oh, this is a bit of a nuisance, to this is a biohazard. Yeah. So we are like, oh my God. And I asked the guy directly to his face, how do we know what this paint is? And he had told me that he had it checked and that it wasn't. And, there's a possibility of a false positive here, but I'm like, I don't I don't trust these guys now,
Yeah.
The sorry, this is a long story, but
I'm in for a penny.
so now we're like, fuck, we have to think about insurance, we have to think about the dog, we have to think about what have we touched, like all of our veggie patch is now contaminated, the deck still has shards on it, there's so much more like hassle now involved. So the next day is Friday. This is yesterday. The Environment Canterbury guy who I missed, we booked to come back. He comes back at 1 o'clock yesterday. And it's a flurry. All of a sudden, everyone is at my door. So I've ordered some Uber Eats for lunch. I open the door because the Uber Eats thing is saying it's been delivered. And there's a guy standing there. He's in a full vest. He's got a body cam. He's got a visible ID. He's got like fluoro. He's got a jacket on. And he's the senior inspector for Environment Canterbury, right?
Oh,
this guy looks fucking intimidating because like body cam, because people will start shit with the ECAN officers. If they go and investigate, if you're at an industrial thing or agricultural and, this guy's found something dodgy, like they get attacked. So they're literally kitted up to like record in case they get abused or something.
And these Uber drivers are really taking it up.
And he didn't even have
level.
my lunch.
He's like, yeah. Does somebody here order 2 lead burgers?
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, hey, sorry. I knew that you're coming, but I didn't know that you were here because I'm just here to get my Uber. And he's like, all right, yeah, no worries. I bring him inside. 1 minute later, there's a doorbell. My Uber's there. I grab the food. I come back in, and we start talking about what's going on. So I walk outside. I show him the situation. He's taking it all in. He's like, yeah, this looks, problematic. The doorbell rings. It's the postie. I get a parcel from the guy. I'm like, God, everyone this is within the space of like 10 minutes. Everyone's at my door now, right?
It's like a play.
It is like a play. So then I'm talking through the thing and I have an extra lead test there. I show him the photos of what the test came back with positive the day before. He's like, and I offer to do it again in front of him. He says, that's all right, man. I'll take some more samples. We'll go it away and we'll get it x-rayed because the proper way to know that it's x-ray, to know that it's lead or not is to do an x-ray and that will confirm it. So there's still paint like in our garden. He goes out there for 5 minutes. He's, picking bits off of the shrubbery and he gets enough there to take away and do another test on. The doorbell rings again. The 4th doorbell. I'm like, God, everyone is here. There's a guy there. He's standing there. He's holding a bottle of wine and he says a UKC. My boyfriend's name. I'm like, no, but he lives here. He's like, oh, would you give this to him? It's just to apologize for the mess. And I look at the guy and he's wearing the contractor t-shirt of the company next door that's doing the roof. I'm like, are you the roof guy? He's like, yeah, that's my business. I'm like,
not the guy that you initially spoke
not
to.
the guy that I'd seen, but the owner of the business who had been contracted to do the work. And I'm like, well, that's funny actually, because I'd like you to meet my friend from Environment Canterbury. And this guy steps out in his full vest and body cam. And the guy he's walked into an ambush without even knowing it.
Oh my God.
And the guy says, the investigator says, hey, I'd like to have a word with you. And he takes him outside.
Did he actually say that?
Yep. Yeah. It takes him outside and he goes and stands in our driveway. And he says, so here's the lie of the land. I can hear this conversation. He's moved outside, but the door's open. I can still hear everything. The guy's like a deer in headlights. He's like, so this is my concern.
Dramatic.
I found paint. How have you protected against the paint, spraying off? And he's like, oh, they should have socked the gutter, to catch it in the gutter. It's like, yes, well, we check the wastewater drain. There's bits of paint in there, and there's the paint that's been all over this one here. And our main concern is that it looks like it's going to be lead because they've done a test and it's come back positive. And he's like, oh shit, and like to his credit, he seemed genuinely concerned. And I think even beyond the fact of this is going to be really bad for me and my business professionally, but like, I think he genuinely was like, oh, I don't want lead in the environment. Like, I think on that note, he was sincere. And to his credit, he'd brought around a bottle of wine to try and apologize for the mess. So I do think he's like a reasonable dude. But this guy had completely just walked into a fucking ambush without realizing it. Turned up at the exact time that the senior inspector was there pulling samples, and then got a face-to-face time.
He's basically walked into his own intervention without knowing it.
Yeah.
You know.
So we... I don't see him again. He never comes back into the house. He's at my door for about 10 seconds, and then after the conversation, he disappears again, probably slightly shitting himself. But the guy takes the samples away. We are waiting for the X-rays to come back. That'll be next week. At that point, if it comes back positive, they have to do like a site inspection with an expert who can talk about soil contaminants, and you look about how we remediate it and all that kind of thing. So it may well be a long process. Personally, I would love for it to be a false positive and for it to not be lead because I don't want a poisoned backyard. And despite the hassle, it would be better if it was just like acrylic paint or something. But it seems like that is not how the cards have been dealt. But wow, so that's the story of how our house got lead poisoned.
So do you have to go get medical? Like, are you taking precautionary?
I'm pretty
what does
sure.
lead do? Didn't we have it in pencils for ages?
I don't know if historically it ever was lead in pencils. I think that's actually a misnomer. It may well have been a long time ago, but I think for the most part they only ever used graphite because lead doesn't actually leave marks. It's not soft enough. But
you're right. It's been a myth. The Romans and Egyptians used to use it, but not since then. It's been graphite.
Yeah. So, but yeah, lead pipes and things. Anything which leaches is bad. We were told that, I don't think it's a problem in terms of inhalation or anything like that. It's not radioactive. It's only if you ingest it. The big risk is in the soil. So if you're growing things like potatoes or something where it would be absorbed in the flesh, in the root, that's a problem. Things like if it was in soil of a plant that was growing leaves or fruit, like berries or mint or something like that, I think are not a problem so long as you wash it really well. But either way, I mean, we're not going to be eating anything from the veggie patch. We're going to scrap that. Just out of an abundance of caution. And for us, really, the main concern is the dog, because a dog will sniff and eat anything. Apparently paint tastes sweet, so they're quite interested. Oh, yeah, you've tried?
Quite sweet.
Yeah, but so yeah, that was the headache of that day. And now,
it's potentially going to get litigious down the line if it does come back. Lead.
Well, the guy said that even if it is not lead, in his opinion, it's still a breach of the relevant act about pollutants, effectively. Even if it's just non-toxic paint or acrylic paint or something, there's still been stuff going into the waterways. So that is at it's a crime, so it's a criminal action, but it's prosecuted by this board, right? And then there is a secondary level of the civil concerns between us as the homeowners and them as the business in terms of damages and that sort of thing. But, there's a long way to go before we go down that pathway. And I think a lot of this organization, the Environmental Authority, has sway over how things get remediated, which can include, replacing the soil or, our damages and that kind of thing. But I did notify our insurers.
Notify again. Fucking hell, it doesn't learn anything.
I notified our insurers.
I've just got a couple of small questions for you.
Absolutely.
When the Uber food came...
Chicken karaage on rice.
Thank you. Second question. When did you start eating it? Did you wait until the guy was done?
Yeah, I had to wait.
Did you? Didn't offer him a bite? All right.
Well, I actually did, by the end, when he was out taking his samples, I did sit down and just have a little bit of it. And he said, "Oh, what's for lunch?" And I said, "Chicken karaage." And he said, "Oh, that's the good stuff." That's a true story.
I believe it. And what kind of wine did the guy bring over?
I actually haven't looked. I actually
Red or
we
white?
didn't open it. We didn't open it because part of my
Oh, it's
concern
wrapped.
was it was in like a carry one of those sleeves, But we don't drink wine anyway, and also there was concern. I'm not sure what the law is, but sometimes if you accept a gift, there is a risk that it could be seen as you've accepted compensation in some way, and we don't want to have opened or interacted with that gift in case that it's read as we no longer have a right to pursue the full damages.
That's a funny little thing, isn't it? Because like you have accepted the gift.
Well,
But
technically, he
it's
said,
like if it
"Can
goes
you
to
give?"
court, it's going to be like, well, you opened the wrapping paper.
Well, yeah. I mean, he said, "Can you give this to KC?" So I didn't actually accept it, and KC has not touched it. So
Yeah.
who knows? I can't imagine that that's ultimately a deciding factor. But it was just an
I'd be
abundance of
interested to
caution.
know what type of wine. If you ever do open it, let me know what it is.
I'll let you know. Yeah. It was a goon sack. It was just a loose foil bag.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, to be continued, I guess.
Yeah, I'll keep you updated. I do have one more. I realized I missed one part of my story.
Okay.
So on that night, after we've had this conflict with the contractor, and there's paint all over the deck, and there's everything, and there's concerns, and we're worried about the lead content in anything, we're trying to get a hold of people that we can speak to. And as I said, I don't have the contact details for Laurie, who's the owner. I'm like, oh, okay, what are we going to do? Casey says he's in a unit. He's at one side of this house. The whole roof is being redone, but he's doing it. And then clearly his neighbor, who's an entirely different person who owns the other side of the house, has signed on to get that redone on their side as well. So I'm like, well, maybe the neighbor has a contact for Laurie, and then we can call him and we can have it talked about. So Casey hops over the fence, back through to the other side of the house, and goes. We can see that the unit at the end, there's someone home because the window's open. Goes there to speak. 5 minutes later, he comes back. He scrambles over our back fence and into the yard, and he has a look on his face of like a strange mix of giddiness and surprise, and I'm like, whoa, what happened? Something happened, because he is coming back with information. And he gets inside, and I say, how'd it go? Did you get Laurie's number? And he says, Laurie's dead.
What?
Laurie, the neighbor, had died, and we hadn't known. He died 3 months ago, and they'd sold the house, and this was a completely new owner who'd come in and chosen to do it up, chosen to redo the roof. The guy that had met us there when we bought the house, who gave us lemons, who cooked us shortbread, had died. I was like, oh my God, that's why I haven't seen him. Like, I just thought that he was staying over at his partner's house because he would go back and forth. But yeah, he died months ago.
Holy shit.
So I can't. Yeah, I was reeling. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, so there was this other strange like shock level to it as well, where it's like, not only is this thing happening to us, but it's not even the person doing it that we thought it was.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
didn't expect a sixth sense ending. It'd be crazy if the person said, there is no Laurie. Who's
Laurie's never lived here. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So
Whoa.
yeah, that was that was my twist ending.
I love it. Did not expect it.
Yeah.
Well, when life gives
you lemons. Yeah. Too soon.
Call the EPA.
Okay,
Fuck
that's
me.
enough talking to me. Please talk to me, Michael.
Right. All right. So had Dan and Grace's engagement party last week. Shout out to Dan and Grace. We quietly thought it was going to be a wedding.
Okay.
But it wasn't. It wasn't.
You thought you were going to get there and they're going to be like, it's not an engagement. It's happening now.
It would be a lot of us in the family were guessing that would be the case. It would totally be them to do
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, very very fun night. Now there were a couple of social situations for me though to navigate at this party,
Okay.
and one of those was with my uncle on my dad's side, who I haven't seen in about 15 years. Now, when we got married, we had the smallest possible wedding that we could. And what that meant was we basically, the relatives that we see semi frequently for Christmas, we invite those people, but I don't see any of my mum's family really ever. So I didn't invite anyone on my mum's family. I invited most people on my dad's side of the family, but I didn't invite my dad's brother,
Yeah.
my uncle, who by the way happens to be my godfather as well, for whatever that means. And we've always liked Andy, but he lives in Sydney. He doesn't come to Christmas. Like I said, I haven't seen him in 15 years. But at the wedding last year, a few people in my family were saying, "Why didn't you invite Andy?" And it just so happened that he just, as much as I would have liked him to be at the wedding,
Yeah.
he was the inflection point by which if I invited Andy, I would have had to invite people on my mum's side of the family, and then Lauren would have had to do the same. So it just so happened that he was the person that if I invited him, it would have doubled in size, and we were paying for the wedding mostly ourselves, and we just couldn't do it. So we made the choice to do that. So I had heard through my family that he was kind of hurt by not getting invited to my wedding. And I could justify it to myself. So I was disappointed that he was, I don't want to,
it wasn't a malicious
my uncle.
act. Yeah.
No, but like I was still confident in my decision to do that. But then I learned that Dan has invited him to come to his engagement party. And
what is the relationship between Dan and your uncle? Is that
same as me?
Uncle as well.
Yeah, he's uncle as well, because it's Leslie's brother as well.
Okay, gotcha.
So he tells me that Annie's coming, and I'm like, okay, well that's going to be interesting. But I was saying to Lauren just before we were going to Dan and Grace's engagement party, I'm like, I'm a little bit nervous about this interaction. I don't know whether I should broach it first and be proactive in that sense, or I should wait to see how he is, with me, and then, maybe if the time is right, mention it then, or maybe just don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
And Lauren, she's never met the guy, she's like, look, it's going to be fine. You're overthinking it. And I'm like, you're probably right. I'll just wait to see how it goes. So anyway, he comes a bit later into the night, and I'm talking to someone else, and he comes up, and I notice him, and he looks at me, and I go, "Oh, Andy, how you going?" And he just taps me on the shoulder and keeps walking. And I'm like, fuck, that was brutal. And Lauren was there. And so I try and catch him as he's going. I'm like, Andy, how you going? And then Lauren, he bears an uncanny resemblance to Lauren's dad. Oh. And we were all like ticks and in looks, and everyone's told Lauren that Andy, and so she starts talking immediately about, you do look exactly like my dad, and he is giving her nothing. He's going, yep, okay, giving her nothing, and then he moves on, and then so he moves on to another conversation, and then I talk to Lauren a few minutes later, and she goes, holy shit, I didn't expect it was going to be like that. That was brutal. Like, he seemed really pissed. I'm like, fuck. So we go on with our night. I'm talking to this person, and I'm
that's the first
by this
time
whole
Lauren's
thing.
ever met him, right? Like, so
that's the first
you haven't
time.
seen him in 15 years. Yeah, that was the first interaction. Yeah.
So I'm kind of going through like I'm socializing, but I am rattled by this whole thing.
You're fixated on it. Yeah.
I'm having conversations, but this is still all I'm thinking about. And so my plan was to ask Dan or Leslie or Julia about, what do you think I should do here? Because, you've been to Dan and Dan's house.
Mm-hmm.
It's Leslie's house. It's quite small, and they have 75 people in this kind of small space.
Yeah.
But it starts to thin out, and it's I know you can see where everyone is, right? So he's just the uncle's always there. So at one point, I'm talking to James Packer, I think, and Julia comes up and she says, "Hey, can I talk to you? I just spoke to Lauren about the interaction with Andy, and I think you should go up and say something." And she gives really good advice. She says, a lot of our parents and that sibling and that generation, she's like, how they are. They're more afraid of the hard conversation than you are when they have big feelings, but they don't know how to express them,
process them. Yeah.
And so I think she's giving me very great advice. And she said, I think you should go up and talk to him about it. And I said, Julia just framed it perfectly for me. And I said, right, cool. I'm going to go right now. So I go straight up to Andy and I sit next to him and I start talking to him. Like, Andy, how's it going? Starting to initiate that small talk conversation first. And then about 30 seconds into that conversation, Dan's auntie, Irene, who I'm not sure if you've met.
I don't know.
She's a very bougie kind of. She's got a.
This is not Andy's partner.
This is John's Dan's auntie, but not my auntie.
Sure, the other side. Yeah.
I think you probably would have met her maybe a few times.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's quite brash lady, right? So she comes up and she goes, "Andy, I haven't fucking seen you in 20 fucking years. What the fuck? Where are you?" This is how she talks to everyone, right? Where the fuck have you been? When's the last? Then she points to me. When's the last time you saw this fucker? To me, and I'm like, oh, it's been 15 years. And she goes, how have you fucking been? Like, she's one of these people that asks a lot of questions, but doesn't let you answer that.
Yeah.
And then she's going, fuck, to Andy, did you go to his wedding? She says the thing. She says, did you go to his wedding? And Andy goes, no, I didn't. And she goes, why did you not invite him to your wedding?
Oh, fuck off.
She says the thing. She says the exact
you came to talk about. Yeah.
That I came to talk to him about. And my answer to her was, what I said out loud was, well, that's actually what I came to talk to him about, but then you came into the conversation. And she goes, oh, am I interrupting something? And I said, yes, you are. And then it takes her another minute to leave, but she, I think I was curt enough with her that, she kind of
got the picture. Yeah.
And so then, then I explained to him that, exactly what I just said to you, that, I'm really sorry that you weren't there. I would have loved you there. But, it just so happened that, if I invited you, given that I haven't seen you in 15 years, that I would have felt really bad that my mum, I would have had to justify that to my mum, because my mum was disappointed, but understanding that none of her brothers and sisters were there, but she got it, And by the way, my dad both of my parents were very understanding, about the choices that we made there. So there was no issue, but I just explained it to him, and he was like, we're cool. And that was kind of it. And we kind of, we talked about other stuff. He was kind of going through it a little bit, but I felt like we had like a genuine conversation and reconnected about his life. I do feel like, there is still this Ukrainian generational thing where even him saying we're cool is him not really not wanting to have this conversation. It's too
Correct.
scary.
Yeah.
I was the same, to be honest. I mean, I didn't want to have those conversations, but I was proud of myself for doing that, and I felt like I explained myself fairly well.
Yeah, good.
And yeah, and then actually later, later we were inside, and I was talking to Leslie, and then Andy came up to talk to Leslie, and then Leslie, after the fact, she said, "Oh, I'm so glad to see you guys talking together. That was cool. That was cool." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I know your heart's in the right place here, but this is the worst
Hard
thing you could do
work.
is we are two little boys really trying to be mature and identifying it in the moment is not helping."
Yeah.
But yeah, it was brutal. I mean, there's the worst possible thing that could have happened in that situation happened. Like
the kind of thing where if you put it in a script, people are like, "Oh, come on, that's a bit on the nose."
No
Come
one-
over
no
and
one would do
explicitly push the button about the sole topic that you wanted to discuss. It's like, gee,
I was in shock. But
oh God, how do you feel now? Like, did he say goodbye when he left? Like, do you think that it is better?
well, my family doesn't do. My family just leaves events, so you don't
they ghost.
no one says goodbye.
Yeah.
But I did hear that Andy was leaving, and so I did run outside and catch him for a hug. So I felt like it left well. Mm-hmm. I don't really know.
But again, you won't see him for another 15 years. So
well, I mean, that's the thing. I'm trying to work out whether or not I don't even have his number, so I'd have to ask for his number. But yeah, I think I might reach out, and it was a good lesson in trying to be the brave one, and in terms of bridging that emotional fear or whatever. And there is our parents. I think my folks. Actually, I won't. That's not even true. There are a lot of people in my family who have very big feelings and don't know how to articulate it, and almost think of themselves as stoics, but they just kind of burst. It's kind of waiting to burst through all of that emotion, and it's they've been taught to shove it right down. I've kind of been taught to shove it down, and so they're fighting this kind of inner child and how they're raised and everything. And I don't know, it was scary, but I was proud of myself for doing that.
Yeah, you should be. I mean, that is an intimidating conversation to have, and I think you're right that you can completely justify it, and I think it's understandable that he might have been a little hurt by it, but I don't think necessarily that coming up and completely blanking you is either the mature way to approach it. But I'm glad that you got through it and were able to, make yourself at least understood directly, and to have shown the courtesy to address it rather than pretend there was nothing between you.
Yeah. I hope so. I want to give a shout out to Julia, because I think she does sometimes.
Yeah, great call.
But Julia is the best. She's very emotionally intelligent, and I love you, Jules.
Yeah. If you've enjoyed this episode, then please get in touch with us. We have plenty more in the feed that you can listen to and enjoy, but you can also send us an email to deepfort@gmail.com. You can jump onto Spotify and leave a comment under the episode of choice. You can find us on Instagram. You can interact with us on Facebook. And you can just generally try and be considerate of your neighbors when it comes to things like hazardous waste.
I thought you were going to do a comment of the week, but
I'm expecting there isn't one.
No, there is one. Comment of the week.
Okay.
This comment of the week is Ben Quaid.
He's the guy.
Again. And that is 3 weeks running.
Yeah, boy.
That's a new record. Ben says, on the last episode, 273, titled Sim City, Ben Quaid says, "Am I going to be poisoned? This took a turn."
Seems oddly specific, but I don't remember what we're referring to. Oh, this was because we tried to sabotage. We said that if he's going to be doing gym stuff to that level, then he should, watch out. So Yeah, I've got some lead paint that we can slip into your drink if you're not careful.
Yeah, make him a lead martini, if you will, please.
Yes.
Well, okay, maybe. Do you have any myths?
I don't. I'm sorry. I'm happy if you
Well,
just miff at me. That's fine. I don't need a miff to return with.
okay, I'll do that. Well, let me just say first. I don't know if you heard. I don't know if you've been watching or reading TMZ lately.
I haven't. Is there an update on the Guthrie case?
You know what? There isn't. I mean, not real, not substantial. It's unbelievable.
Crazy.
But thanks for asking.
I'd like to show interest in my friends.
Pedro Pascal
Yep.
looks like he's soft launching his homosexuality. I don't know if
I
you
think
saw
that
this.
pansexuality is the vibe that the internet's gone with.
What the fuck is pansexuality?
Pansexual.
Yes.
Anyone and everyone. Okay. I can't educate you about everything, Mark. You're going to have to do some legwork yourself.
Well, okay. It doesn't sound like a real sexuality, to be honest. But
Okay, we're keeping that on the record.
yeah, I don't care.
Okay. You're the one who lives in Melbourne.
But I don't know whether I should. Pansexuals everywhere. I don't even know about it. Pedro looks like he's ready to come out the closet, and
Can you
I've
just be happy for him?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, so I've had a bit of an issue with him on the pod, like historically, professionally, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe I will take some of that back a little bit.
Okay.
But
so
not
now
fully.
that you know that he's been in the closet, you see his performances differently.
I see him differently.
Okay.
I see him differently.
Now he's cool.
No, I wouldn't say that. But I would say like he's less of a. It seems like less of a creep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's just nice to be able to chart your progress on the Pedro Pascal accepted scale. We can check back in another 6 months and see where you're at.
Let's do that. All right. Let's do a couple of myths to round this puppy out.
Yeah.
Michael's myth. Annoyed, displeased, riled up, offended, aggrieved, irritated, chagrined, pissed off, put out, resentful, and big, discontented. Michael's myth. All right. So, a couple of culinary myths this week, actually, Nick.
Oh, a bit of a theme.
Bit of a thematic. First myth is not getting any napkins or straws in a takeaway food situation. It's an epidemic. The last 3 or 4 times I've had no cutlery, no straws for a drink, no napkins for my face, and my fingers, and my fingers. I love napkins. I like to. Well, if I'm at a restaurant and they ask me if I want napkins, I say, yeah, I want napkins, but whatever you're about to give me, triple it, because I need. I'm very wasteful with.
Disgusting. I am a slob. There will be food everywhere, and you are vastly underestimating how many of these things I need.
Exactly. Well, I like to wipe every mouthful. I hate the idea of food on my face or in my beard, so I'm wiping every wipe.
One bite, one wipe.
One
bite, one wipe.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
That's right. And that's how I roll. And so you can imagine when I order food and there's no napkins.
Oh, I
don't know
mean,
what to do.
you'd be in tears.
I throw out the food.
What kind of drink are you buying that they're not giving a straw for? Are we talking about like a post mix Coke in a KFC cup, or what, are you talking about a thick shake or a smoothie? What are you getting here that they're not giving you a straw?
None of the above.
Okay.
Usually coffee. A cold brew. A cold brew coffee.
Cold brew coffee.
Yeah.
They don't give you a straw. And what are you talking about in terms of takeaway? They're putting it in a bag?
Bag, yeah, or Uber. We don't get Uber Eats too much, but if I'm getting a karage on rice,
Yeah.
you know, And I've got no napkins. It's mostly napkins. I've got my own cutlery.
If you're getting it at home, why do you need napkins?
Because I like their napkins. I like. What am I gonna? I don't want to like
you have
use
paper
toilet
towels
roll.
or things at home? No. Do you not have paper towel at home?
Yes, I've got paper towels, but give me a napkin.
I mean, I get it if it's like, I guess you've picked up a meal and you're taking it out to work, like at the lunch break, and you get there and then there's no cutlery or something. I get that. On Uber Eats, you can specify if you do or don't want napkins and cutlery. So that's just a box you need to tick. And for a coffee, I think you can just drink it, man. I don't know that you need a straw.
Again, you're victim blaming. Don't care for it. I will say this: Asian restaurants never skimp on the chop. They always give you chopsticks.
Never fail to give. Yeah.
I've got a drawer full of wooden disposable chopsticks because the Asian restaurants always come through.
Do you use them? See, that's
No,
the point.
well, I do. No, I don't.
If you have a drawer full, then you didn't need it, did you?
Yeah, but it's not about. It's the principle of it.
The money that you've spent. You feel like you're entitled to it.
All right. All right, we're moving on. This one I think you're going to be on board with. I've got a educated hunch that you're going to be on board with this.
Okay.
Quite niche.
Okay. White niche. Okay, that's
Nietzsche.
me.
Nietzsche.
I'm not Nietzsche. Go ahead.
My myth is when they cutting into food that is already wrapped. So say you've got a burrito wrapped in foil and they cut straight in with the foil.
That is crazy.
I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. You get like a chicken wrap, like whatever, it's wrapped in paper, they cut through it.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're doing it for presentation, but I'm spending my whole time eating that thing wondering if I'm eating paper or alfoil. Stop it.
Yeah, it is particularly alfoil. Cutting through alfoil with a knife that's
crazy, right?
Teeth curdling. You know that like you feel the emotional impact of that, like metal on metal shriek. That's horrifying. Paper, I sort of get, like you can get away with it, but it's not necessary. I'll just eat from the other end. It's fine. You don't have to cut it in half. No,
it's a trendy thing that people do, and you want to they want to get the open cross section thing of the burrito, and I get like it is good to it's nice to see inside, but don't do it without the wrapping. Okay.
Yeah, and we can quote you on that, right, Michael? 2026. It's nice to see inside.
Is that a sexual thing?
It could be. It just depends how you interpret it.
No, like things gynecologists say. We'll be right back.